Welcome to Missouri Sports Talk. I'm your host, Cameron Staley. Today I'm here with
Easton D'Amelia.
Easton. We got week of 5-18. We are fully into the playoffs now. I think every class besides 5 and 6, I think like regular season games are ending like today for 5 and 6, if there are any more. So we had some rain yesterday. I shouldn't say some. It was the whole entire state.
It was a lot.
We had like 120 games that were supposed to happen yesterday and ended up with like 50 of them happening.
So a lot of postponements.
Yes, we had, I think, 5 of our 18 games did not happen. So we had to go back to the drawing board. I think 2 of them we're going to re-predict. So we'll go pretty quickly through that because it's just going to be the same things that we said before. So let's go ahead and get to it. Class 1 from this past week. Pierce City, a big win against Billings, 12-1. Atlanta over Western in extra innings, 12-8. Mid-Buchanan, 26 runs against Bramer. That is insane. St. Joseph Christian, a good win on the road, 8-1. Jamestown, a playoff dub against New Franklin, 7-1. And North Shelby versus Brashear does not happen.
Yeah, that mid-buck offense really exploded in that one. That's a team that I'm looking at the postseason. I picked them to win my district. And if they're willing to put up numbers like that against a pretty darn good Bramer team, like this is an offense that teams should be terrified. Atlanta takes care of business. This is a team we're both highly on. And the Pierce City, that kind of shocks me how they run Billings, but that's a team we should also expect as we roll the districts.
Forgot to mention, we both went 9-4 this past week, so we ended up tying. We're tied all time as well, 116-61, I believe is
that is
our
correct.
record. So we're neck and neck right now going into the playoffs. This week for Class 1, we'll start off with North Shelby versus Brashear. As we just said, this one was our postponement. Hold on, let me go through the first 5 games. So North Shelby through Northland Christian, those are all tonight, and then Orrin is tomorrow. And so we'll start off with North Shelby and Brashear. I'll go with North Shelby here. They're scored 9.4 a game. They're 8-2 against Brashear since 2012.
Yeah, Brashear lost a close game to Atlanta. Both teams we see highly of, so I think Brashear is able to do it over North Shelby.
Northwest versus Jamestown. I think Northwest is a pretty solid team this year. They are 12-11, so the record doesn't really show for it. I think the Mustangs win this one. They're scoring 6.7 a game. They're 2-1 against Jamestown since 2014. So these two teams, they don't really play a whole lot.
Yeah, I'm going to take Northwest. They're the number 1 seed in this district. They've played some tough teams, and they're able to keep games close if they're tough, but they've also won some games that have been competitive, so I see them win this one.
Wablo versus Appleton City. I'm going to go with Wablo here. They're scoring 6.6 a game. These two teams don't really play. I think Wablo's 1-1 or 2-0 against them. But the big thing that I will go with here, 2 years ago, these two matched up in the playoffs, and Wablo won it. So make it 2-0 in the past 3 seasons.
Wablo's my district champion through this district. I'm going to stick with them. They're my favorite to win this district and maybe do some noise in the playoffs. I think this team has had a tougher schedule here and there. So I think if you build those games up, they're able to win it.
Glasgow versus Northeast Cairo. I'm going to take the home team here. They are the host of the district, Glasgow, obviously. They're scoring 6.5 runs a game. They're 8-1 against Northeast Cairo since 2011, and they're also 8-1 at home this year.
I mean, when you're 8-1 at home, it's hard to pick against you. When you're dominant, especially at home, it's teams like they travel in. They're not used to accustomed to your stuff. So I think Glasgow's a team that we can see winning the districts. I'm not 100% who I have winning that district, but I know I have them making the finals if I don't have them winning.
Northland Christian versus Bramer is our Class 1 game of the week. This one is tonight. I'm excited for this one. The Blazers are looking really good this year. Bramer, you can't deny them. I mean, last year they won districts in football, basketball, and baseball. This year they've won districts in football and basketball. So do they, repeat in all 3 sports? I guess we'll see. I'm not too certain about it, though. Northland, they're a crazy team. I got them winning the district because they are hosting. That was my big thing. The winner of this game will play Faith Christian in the district championship. And obviously, we couldn't make that one the Class 1 game of the week because that one's not set yet. So we're going with the next best thing, Northland versus Bramer. I got to go with the Blazers, as I said. They're scoring 6.9 runs a game. They're only allowing 2.4. I'm really excited because if they win this game tonight, Easton, I will be at that district championship game tomorrow.
So I'm going to take Northland as well. They had a really close game with Faith Christian both times, whereas Bramer, they actually got 10 run. They lost 11-1. So when you kind of compare it to that one seed, I feel like there's a little gap there. Even though Bramer is a really good team, I would not sleep on them. They played a lot of good teams. They're coming off a team that actually forfeited against them, so you know they're going to have all their arms. So I would say this might be a lower scoring game because Bramer will have all their arms. Same with North Christian.
Orrin versus Bell City. I got to go with the Eagles here. They're sitting at 18-1 this season. We got them at number 1 in Class 1 currently. They're scoring 9.7 a game. They're only allowing 1.9, and they're 17-4 against Bell City since 2010. Everything says that the Eagles are taking care of this one.
Yeah, I second that. The Eagles have had a really good season. Now, their schedule sometimes was a little weak, but they were able to take care of business when they had a really tough opponent. I see this team making the Final Four and making a big run.
Class 2 from this past week, Miller takes care of Jasper 8-2, making a run rule over Canton 12-2. Iberia takes care of business against Crocker 6-5, but Iberia turns around and they get upset by Harrisburg. Our number 2 team in Class 2, the Iberia Rangers, are done this season. Salisbury with a big win against Glasgow going into the playoffs 6-4. Putnam County, a close one against Green City. Both aces were pitching, I'm going to assume, because this one was 1-0. And Bernie versus Twin Rivers ends up getting canceled.
Yeah, that Iberia getting upset was completely out of anywhere. Like, I was just lost because Cameron goes, Iberia lost. I was like, this must not be a district game. And all of a sudden you look at it, it was a district game. So now that district's completely flip side up. Like, they could be either way because you're having 2 teams that are hot. I mean, Macon's finally turning it up right in the postseason. They can make a big run. Miller, who I have favored winning that district, getting a big win against Jasper. So I think these teams are all trying to turn it up during the postseason.
Back to Macon before we move on. Not only did they run rule Canton this past week, they also beat our Class 4 number 2 Fulton.
Okay, so they're turning it up.
They're looking good right now. They're hosting their district. Obviously, I mean, they got to win that one, right?
I mean, I think so.
All right, Class 2 for this week. We'll start off Valley Catholic, Miller, Purdy, and Canton all tonight. Chaffee and Harrisburg hosting tomorrow. So, Valley Catholic versus Brentwood. Brentwood, I mean, they're underrated. We didn't put them in the top 25. They're looking good, but they're running into the number 1 team in Class 2. So, give me Valley Catholic. They're scoring 7.9 a game. They're allowing 2.5. The Warriors are on a roll.
Yeah, Valley Catholics are unanimous number 1. They've had success all year long against bigger classes, smaller classes, you name it. They've won. I think they're going to take care of business of their district and just roll on to the post.
Miller versus Ash Grove. We'll go with Miller here, on my side at least. 7.5 runs per game on average. They're allowing 3.2. I think they could win this district championship.
Yeah, Miller's a team I actually have winning in my district. I mean, this game I expect them to take control early on. You don't really know what these teams are thinking, though, with who they're going to pitch because this team is just above 500. So are we going to see Miller's number 1? Are they saving it for the next game? We'll see and how they do.
Purdy versus New Heights is the district championship game. I mean, listen, this one is tough. New Heights is my pick here. They're scoring 9.6 runs per game, but Purdy's 22-1 against them since 2010. That one loss for Purdy was this season. So New Heights, I mean, they've got a new culture in there. I don't know if they had a coaching change or if something just kind of clicked for them this season. But, I mean, they're looking really good. We got them top 10. I think we had them at like number 6 or number 7. So we got them right outside the top 5. We can't say the same for Purdy. So I just feel like the Cougars, this is their year to get it done against Purdy.
So Brock Purdy gets paid, but I'm not picking the Purdy Eagles. I'm picking New Heights. New Heights has had a great year. They're a team that's kind of shot up. We really weren't expecting much at them. They weren't really ranked during the preseason, a team we really know about, but they've turned it up, and I expect them to win this one.
Canton versus Schuyler County. This one's going to be fun. This one's actually at Schuyler County, so that could play into it a little bit. I will go with the Canton Tigers, though. They're scoring 6.4 a game, and they're undefeated against Schuyler County since 2010, 10-0.
I think this is a game where you're going to have to throw your number 2. Putnam County is in this district, so I think it's number 2 versus number 2. And then do you go to your number 1 arm in the bullpen? I don't know. It's kind of just how you feel. You're playing for your season. I think Canton is the team to win this. They're a solid team. They're going to have to find a way to win this game and find enough way to keep pitching. Either way, whoever wins this.
The Class 2 game of the week has to be Chaffee versus Bloomfield. We've got both these teams in the top 10 in Class 2. I got to go with the Red Devils, though. I've been very high on them so far this year, and I don't think I should sag off of that right now when it matters most. So, Chaffee, they're scoring 9.3 a game. They're only allowing 2, and they're 7-0 against Bloomfield since 2010, so I think they keep that up.
I'm going to take the opposite side of the coin. I will take Bloomfield. I've been high on them all year long. I think this team's finally putting it together at the right time.
Harrisburg versus Eugene. This is a big one. As we mentioned earlier, Harrisburg with the upset against Iberia, who we had at number 2. And Eugene, I mean, they're on a roll. They're 21-8 now. Easton, they started the year 1-7. So what is that, 20-1?
Yeah, it's pretty impressive.
That's insane. So, like, they're going crazy right now. I think they win the district championship. They're scoring 7.3 runs a game. They're 4-1 in their last 5 against Harrisburg. So give me the Eugene Eagles.
So this is a game where you're like, who do you take? A team that just upset the number 2 seed or a team that's been as red hot as can be? And now Harrisburg actually getting hot, but I will take Eugene. They've been hot, and I think they're able to carry that on as Mizzou gives up a run.
Yeah, home run, actually.
Yeah, rip.
All right, Class 3 from this past week. Chaffee, they defeat Portageville 6-4. Benton, they kill Lawson by 16, 19-3. And Centralia, a close one in the playoffs, 10-9. The other 3 end up getting canceled, or postponed, I should say. Sorry, those are playoff games.
Finally, I didn't get cooked by Lawson. I mean, it's just about time. Benton's a red-hot team. This is the team that's going to go far in the postseason. They made a run last year, and I wouldn't count them out. They had a struggle early on just because they're tough schedule, but I'm really excited to see what they can do. So Centralia, New Bloomfield, that game I really wasn't too high on just because they're not the best teams, but Centralia finally getting some wins and heading into districts. And then Chaffee, a team you're red-hot on, that you see will go winning their district.
This week, Class 3, all of these are playoff games. Tonight, we've got Fairgrove, Portageville, Diamond, Mid-Buchanan, and Warsaw. Tomorrow is Scott City versus Greenville. Fairgrove versus Ava should feel like the easiest one to pick here. I don't want to be rude about that. I'm not trying to say Ava's a bad team. We got them in the top 25. But Fairgrove, I mean, we got them at number 3 in Class 3. They're scoring 7.1 a game, and they're only allowing 2.3. I feel like the Eagles will continue to roll.
Yeah, I will second that as well. Fairgrove, they've been dominant all year long. They've had success against really bad teams and really good teams. So I think they're able to kind of take away and maybe save some pitching for the future just so you don't have stress on those arms.
Portageville versus Twin Rivers. I like Twin Rivers. I really like their logo, the Royals. I mean, I'm a Royals fan, so Obviously I got a little bit of bias there. So Portageville is going to be my pick, though. I'm sorry to hype up Twin Rivers and then pick against them. The Bulldogs are scoring 7.3 a game, and they're 11-1 against Twin Rivers since 2015, so it just feels right.
Yeah, I'll take Portageville. They've had a really good season. They were on a 4-game winning streak prior to that loss to Chaffee, who's a good team we were both highly on. So I think that was just like a game where you play a tough team at the end of the year. You might not use your best pitchers, but now it's time you're turning it up into districts.
Diamond versus Pierce City. I like Diamond this year. They don't have the most beautiful record ever, but they've played some pretty good teams so far. Diamond scoring 7.5 a game, and they're 4-2 against Pierce City since 2021, so I think they make that 5-1.
Yeah, they played.
5-2.
They played earlier. Diamond took control. They won 7-0. So I think this is just on repeat times 2. I feel like they're able to take care of business.
Mid-Buchanan versus Lathrop. This one's going to be fun. These two teams go back and forth every year. But Mid-Buchanan, I feel like they're just a better team this year. They're scoring 7.3 a game. They're allowing 3.3. I like the Dragons here.
Yeah, Lathrop's been a roller coaster of a ride. They've had the highest of highs, the lowest of lows. Mid-Buck's a team that's just turning it up at the right time. You saw earlier they've scored over 25 runs, and I don't know how many teams have done that, especially as they head into the postseason. So this Mid-Buck team is a team I see winning their district and then doing a little more. I feel like they're going to kind of do what they did last year. They made the Final Four, and I'm excited to see what they can do.
Warsaw versus Lamar. This one should be pretty entertaining. I'll go with Lamar, even though they lost 2 straight. So Warsaw is the hotter team going into here. I just feel like Lamar may overpower this Warsaw Wildcat squad. Lamar scoring 7.4 a game, and I couldn't really figure the best number 2 stat to go with here. So I will go with them having a perfect record on neutral site games, 1-0.
Okay, so that's pulling it out of the bag. Like that's like way reaching all the way at the bottom. Oh, I got some. But I will take Lamar to win this one. They've had a way tougher schedule than Warsaw. They've had really good games, Warsaw has, but when you play the level of competition, your record looks pretty, but your team is not as pretty as they look.
Scott City versus Greenville is our Class 3 game of the week. Scott City, we got them at number 2, correct, in Class 3. Greenville, we also had ranked, but they've had an easier schedule than Scott City. Greenville hasn't had, like, an easy schedule is not what I'm saying. They've had an easier. So I like Greenville, but I don't really see them getting past Scott City here. Scott City, they're scoring 8.6 a game. They're only allowing 2. The Rams pitching staff has looked good. I think they advance.
I will say I like the Bears logo. That's really nice, like the bear and all that, really detailed. But I will take the Scott City Rams. They're a team that I think they're equal to Lone Jack, maybe better. Me and you were kind of contemplating. I texted him the wrong team. Why are you so good on this team? But it was actually supposed to be a different team. And then I'm like, wait a minute. Looking at the Scott City team, I really like them. They had a tough schedule. They had success, and I see them beating the Bears.
That's all you got for today. I'll be on my high horse to New Haven versus Community. It's at New Haven. That's a semifinal. You know, I don't want to like hate on either of them because obviously like I'm going to see New Haven and support them. But the winner of that's got St. Elizabeth in the district championship. So I'm not too certain that whoever wins that one will be going much further. So I think whoever wins that game, their season will probably end tomorrow. So. You know, like I said, I don't want to hate or anything, but that's just kind of the reality.
I think St. E's my favorite to win it all. So that's a tough district draw. And there's a lot of districts that you're having a bunch of ranked teams playing, and then you just like kind of have some teams that just squeeze on through that you're like, that team does not deserve to be there. We played a tougher team in districts, but it's just how it goes.
Yep, so it's New Haven versus Community tonight. Tomorrow, if Northland Christian and Faith Christian advance, that'll be the district championship game that I'll be at. And then Thursday, if Silex makes the district championship game, I think they play tonight, and then they have a day off. So if they make the district championship on Thursday, that's where I'll be. I'll be at Clopton. That's where the district is happening. And then Friday and Saturday, I'm still open. So anybody that sees that, you guys
hit the DMs.
Hit the DMs and have me out to your district championship game. That's all you got for today. This has been Missouri Sports Talk. See you next time.